Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the Rock Squad channel and welcome to the rock album review for the 7th studio album from Wavves. It's called Hideaway. Hideaway is the follow-up to 2017's You're Welcome, an album that I like a lot. I'm actually a pretty big Wavves fan myself, as you can see from my t-shirt here. Can you see it, guys, behind the microphone? My t-shirt that I picked up at the Wavves and Best Coast show on their tour for Summers Forever 2 in 2016. That's where I picked up this shirt. I actually saw them on the Summer is Forever tour as well. I think that was in 2011 or 2012 that they did that tour. Either way, I'm a big Wavves fan, big fan of Nathan Williams and all of his work. I don't really love the first couple of Wavves albums because those are a little bit too noisy for my liking, but from King of the Beach onward, I'm a big fan of the band. I would say my favorite record by Wavves is Afraid of Heights, which came out in 2013, features the song Sail to the Sun, which is one of my favorites. But I like all their albums, whether it be King of the Beach, 5, or You're Welcome. I'm a big Wavves fan, and I was very much looking forward to checking out this new album from Wavves, Hideaway, and I'm happy to say that I enjoyed this thing mostly. All right, so how I do it here on these rock album reviews is I take the songs from the record, I put them into two columns, one being the plus column, the songs that I really liked, and the ones in the minus column, which are the ones that didn't really stand out to me. It doesn't necessarily mean they're horrible songs. It's just that I didn't really enjoy them as much as the ones in the plus column. And this is a very, very short album. It clocks into about half an hour, and there's only 9 songs on this record. So this rock album review will probably be pretty quick. But the first song going in the plus column is a song called Through Hell, which to me is a vintage Wavves rocker. Actually, it feels like they're going back more to the sound of King of the Beach than they have on their last few records. Has that very distorted vibe that King of the Beach had, that production, that distinct sound that Wavves had back in the day, and they still have a very distinctive sound. And the hooks are still intact, though. Nathan Williams knows how to write great California stoner rock hooks, and he does it on the first song here, Through Hell. Like the lyrics on the song, like an atom bomb, some good stuff in there. It just feels like it feels good to have, you know, this their brand of stoner rock back when you think of Wavves. It's been 4 years since You're Welcome. It's nice to hear something that harkens back to the King of the Beach record, which is an album that I really love. And this is probably one of the noisier songs that they put out in the better part of a decade. So Through Hell is going into the plus column. The next song we're going to put in the plus column is the title track called Hideaway. Nathan Williams is putting the edge back on his voice. There's a bunch of different things that he does with his voice on this record, but for at least these first 2 tracks, Through Hell and Hideaway, he's putting that harder edge back on his voice that he had on King of the Beach. Over the last couple of records, especially when you think of You're Welcome and 5 or V, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to call it 5. Things were much cleaner and much more melodic on those records, which is fine with me because I'm all about great pop production or pop rock production and having great melodies. There was no shortage of that, but this one definitely goes back to the distorted vibe of those first few Wavves records. The rest of this album doesn't really do that, but it's cool to take a trip down memory lane on a song like Hideaway. You're Welcome and V, like I was saying, definitely veered more into melodic and pop rock or, you know, pop punk territory than the first few Wavves records. So Hideaway is a little bit of a throwback to classic Wavves, like the first song Through Hell, and it's going in the plus column. All right, then we get to a song called Help Is on the Way. It's going in the plus column as well. This is one of the singles that we heard before the record came out. The first 2 songs were older Wavves. This song sounds like new wave Wavves, if you want me to say that. The production's very crisp. It's up front. It feels more like Nathan Williams is going more in a desert stoner rock vibe on this record than a SoCal California stoner rock vibe for the majority of this album, which I really like. This song had a great breakdown. Had Nathan's classic like woo woo. He's always doing those falsetto woos, which I really love. Sunny melodies. This song is already one of my favorite songs of the summer. So Help Is on the Way is going in the plus column. Also going in the plus column is the first track that we heard from Hideaway that came out a couple of months back called Sinking Feeling. Really love the guitar riff on this song. It's very desert stoner rock. Feels like it has a little bit of a rockabilly, you know, Tex-Mex kind of vibe to it, which I thought was really cool. Like, I'm sorry, that's my best impression of that guitar riff. Really sets the tone on this song, which I love. That desert stoner rock thing that's going on. Maybe a little bit of Queens of the Stone Age in there even. The melody on this song is really cool. Very different for Nathan. As I was saying, he's doing some different stuff with his voice on this record. On the first couple of songs, he was singing like he did on King of the Beach, but then when you get to Help Is on the Way, that's more like mid 2010s Wavves, and then you get to Sinking Feeling, which he's doing something entirely new with his voice, which I think is really cool, and it shows his versatility as a vocalist. Love his ability to adapt to different songs. There are other different songs on this record in which he does other different things, which I thought was really cool. So going into the plus column is the first single from Hideaway, which is Sinking Feeling, a song I really, really love. Then we get to a song called Honeycomb, and this is actually the closest thing to a ballad that Wavves have ever done. I don't really consider them to be much of a rock ballad band. Green Eyes, maybe on King of the Beach, would be a little bit of a rock ballad if you really wanted to make a stretch about it. But this song is really sweet and continues the summery sort of vibe of this record. Nice jangly guitars. I always consider Wavves and Best Coast. I know they broke up. I know Nathan and Bethany broke up. I don't want to talk about it on this review, but both of those bands I associate very closely with summer and listening to their songs in the car and driving around the city listening to those songs in the sunshine. So this song is going to join that playlist. Nice jangly guitars, maybe a little bit of shoegaze or even Britpop on this song, which I thought was cool. So Honeycomb is going in the plus column. Also going in the plus column is a song called The Blame, because Wavves have gone full on country. Yeah, that's right. You listen to that guitar intro, that acoustic strum. I said that Wavves are doing some different stuff on this record, and they totally are on a song called The Blame. They started out as Wavves, but now they've moved on to being country Wavves, which is totally cool with me. It still has that famous, Wavves falsetto woos on it that Nathan does so well. So I really love that they branched out here. Shows the versatility of Nathan Williams and his songwriting, his ability to try different things and stretch out a little bit for the Wavves sound. So going in the plus column is The Blame. And then also going into the plus column, the last one is Caviar, which is the organ-filled, tambourine-driven ending track for Hideaway, with really another great, sweet Wavves melody. I love the organs. I love the keyboards. Cool of them to try something different. And I know they've featured those instruments before, but I consider Wavves to be very much a guitar-driven band. So this is cool that they're doing some different stuff on here. I like when Nathan raises the pitch of his voice and does some different stuff. He's always doing different things with his voice, like I said on previous parts of this review. So I really enjoyed Caviar, and that's the last one going into the plus column. Then we get to the songs in the minus column. There's just a couple of them. This is only a 9-song album, so it goes by very, very quick. Going in the minus column, we just have what, 3 tracks? No, 2 tracks. We have Marine Life, which to me was standard straight ahead Wavves, which is okay because not everything has to be like The Blame or Sinking Feeling and have a different vibe to it altogether, because they don't have to reinvent the wheel on every song. They can try different things and still, maintain the course and do the Wavves thing. And it's a fun little song, but I feel like I've heard it on every other Wavves record before. It sounds like something that could have been on Afraid of Heights or 5. So it didn't really do anything different for me. And then another song that's going to go in the minus column was called Planting a Garden. Like the verses, but again, this felt like filler to me, which was a little bit disappointing because again, this album only has 9 songs on it. It's a half an hour long. It goes by very, very quick. So it could have used another couple of songs, I guess, but Planting a Garden, even though it was okay, didn't do much for me. So that song's going to go into the minus column. Overall, I thought the 7th studio album from Wavves was a solid effort. I wish they maybe put a couple of more songs on this record and lengthened it a little bit, but I was surprised to see that it was produced by Dave Sitek. Is that how you say his name? Of TV on the Radio. He's worked with a whole lot of people, including BDI. He's worked with Liam Gallagher before as well. And I was surprised to see that Wavves, even though they have their own label, or Nathan has his own label, Ghost Ramp, I'm surprised to see that they're back on Fat Possum Records with this new album, which is where they released the first couple of Wavves records, I think at least up until King of the Beach. I don't know if they did Afraid of Heights, but they're back on Fat Possum Records. This album is quick, clocks in at 29 minutes. It's a quick and fun listen, so at least you won't get bored. It's going to be over before you get bored, which is a good thing. But I felt like it's still not enough. Maybe it's been 4 years since the last Wavves record, and I wanted to hear more. 4 years later, I've only got 9 songs, so would have liked to, hear a couple more songs, even though there were some filler songs with only 9 tracks on the record. So could use a little bit more of a sample size. Really started strong and trailed off for me, which is something that I've complained about, I think, on a lot of these rock album reviews, whether the albums be long or short. There always tends to be, a thing going on where these these albums are very front loaded. They have a lot of great songs up front, and then by the time you get to the end, it trails off a bit. I know that's my opinion. I know a lot of people would have a different opinion of that, because depending on how big of a fan they are of the band, and I'm a big Wavves fan, so you'd think that I would, like the thing all the way through. But I guess it just depends on how you look at an album, and how it's structured, how it presents itself to you in the listening experience. I feel like I'm getting too heady here, but a lot of albums lately that I've been doing on these rock album reviews are very front loaded, which is fine because I love a good solid 5 tracks to kick off an album. But I would like to see things stay strong throughout the rest of the album. If you're going to do 9, 10, 11 songs, I think it wouldn't be that hard to put together, a solid track list that doesn't feature any filler. But that's just a stupid complaint that I'm making about a lot of these records. But I did overall enjoy the new record from Wavves. I don't enjoy it as much as their last couple of records, but it's still a solid listen. So I'm going to give Hideaway by Wavves a solid 3 out of 5. All right, everybody, that is it for my review for Wavves and their new album, Hideaway. Let me know what you thought of the record. I'd love to know what you thought in the comments below. Make sure to like this video. We would appreciate that. Make sure to subscribe to us here on the Rock Squad channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Myself and my co-host and bandmate Dave Marini do a podcast here on the channel every week called the Rock Squad Podcast. We run down the latest in rock music news and reviews and discussions. So if you love to keep up with what's going on in the world of rock music, join us for the Rock Squad Podcast here every week here on the YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts. You can stream it on Spotify or Apple Music or Google or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And make sure to keep your eye out here on the channel as well for more rock album reviews. I'm going to be doing another one right after this for the new album from John Mayer called Sob Rock. I don't think the Wavves fans are going to be listening to John Mayer. You could be. I know I am. But that is the next rock album review coming up here on the channel. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. We'll see you again for the next rock album review. Rock on.